Tom was a quiet man. He lived in a small village near the green hills of Earth. His life was simple, worked on his farm, grew vegetables, and took care of his younger brother. He had never left his town, never traveled far, and never thought much about aliens. That changed in one day. It started with a message. The sky lit up with bright blue lights, and a voice spoke in every language at once. It came from the United Galactic Union, a powerful organization of planets across the galaxy. People of Earth, the voice said, you are now part of the Union. Peace and technology shall be shared with you, but a new law must be followed. Tom stood in the field confused. As the message continued, every Earthling male must marry 3 women from other planets. This is the law of unity. This is the law of peace. The world fell silent at first. Tom thought it was a joke. Everyone did. But soon soldiers from the Union arrived. They wore silver suits and carried small, glowing devices. They set up camps in every city. They gave out papers. They called it the matchmaking law. Some people were happy. They thought marrying alien women would be exciting. Some people were afraid, others were angry. Tom was confused. A week later, a letter came to his home. It had the Union's symbol star inside a circle. Inside the letter it said, you have been selected. Report to the Galactic Hub within 5 days. You will choose 3 wives. Do not refuse. Earth has agreed to the Union law. His brother Joe looked at him with wide eyes. You're really going? Joe asked. I don't want to, Tom said. But if I don't go, they'll arrest me. They already took Peter from the next town. Joe was quiet. Their parents had passed away years ago. Tom was all Joe had. Don't worry, Tom said, placing a hand on his brother's shoulder. I'll be back. Somehow. The journey began at the Union port. It was built outside the city where a large ship waited. Thousands of men stood in line. All of them had the same look, nervous, confused, unsure. Tom held a small bag with his clothes and an old photo of his family. A woman with silver skin and soft green eyes stood near the entrance. She wore a long blue robe and held a tablet in her hand. She smiled kindly. Name? She asked in perfect English. Tom, he replied. Welcome, Tom. I am Mila. I'm here to help you understand the process. Tom stared. She was beautiful, but not in a way he had ever seen. Her face was smooth, her hair soft like mist. You're not human, he said, surprised. Mila smiled again. I'm from the planet Zell. I've been studying Earth's language and culture for many years. Tom nodded slowly. Do you think this law is fair? He asked her. Mila hesitated. It is not my place to say. The Union believes this is the best way to bring peace between species. Tom frowned. Forcing people to marry doesn't sound peaceful to me. Mila said nothing. Instead, she scanned his ID and let him pass. Inside the ship, the floor was clean and shiny. Strange lights glowed from the walls. Seats moved on their own. Voices spoke in many languages. Tom sat next to a man from India. His name was Ravi. He looked nervous too. Did you leave anyone behind? Tom asked. My mother, Ravi said. She cried when I left. Tom looked out the small window. Earth was getting smaller and smaller. Do you think we'll ever come back? Ravi asked. Tom didn't answer. The ship flew through space for 2 days. When they arrived at the Galactic Matchmaking Hub, everyone was silent. The station was huge, like a city floating among stars. Lights blinked from every corner. Ships came and went like birds. Inside, it was even stranger. There were halls filled with colors Tom had never seen. Machines floated in the air.
Alien.
Women from every corner of the galaxy walked past, some tall, some with blue skin, some with eyes that glowed softly. A voice echoed across the hall. All new arrivals, please follow the green lights. Your matchmaking orientation will begin shortly. Tom followed the crowd. The orientation room was like a small stadium. A round table floated in the middle. On it stood a Union officer with silver armor and a calm face. Welcome, Earthlings, he said. This is a time of great unity. The Union has accepted your planet. But to keep peace, bonds must be formed. Tom looked around. Some men were whispering. Others were just staring. You will each meet and choose 3 wives from different alien races, the officer continued. Your choices will be honored. But refusal to choose will be seen as rejection of union law. Tom clenched his fists. This didn't feel like peace. It felt like pressure. Do we have a choice? A man in the back shouted. The officer paused. You chose when your leader signed the agreement. After the speech, Mila found Tom again. Are you okay? She asked. No, Tom said. I don't understand how this helps anyone. Mila looked down. Many alien races are dying. War, disease, and time have taken their people. The Union believes shared families will save them. Tom sighed. We're tools? Mila looked up. I don't believe that. I think something good can still come from this. If we choose with care. Tom didn't reply. His mind was full of questions. But deep inside, he knew this was not the end. It was just the beginning. The next morning, Tom stood on the balcony of the galactic matchmaking hub. From this height, Earth looked like a bright blue marble floating in the black sky. It was beautiful, quiet, and far away. He took a deep breath. Everything was changing, Mila walked up behind him. Her soft footsteps made no sound. She was holding 2 cups of a warm drink that smelled like sweet flowers. You should eat something, she said, handing him a cup. Tom took it, nodded politely, but didn't sip. His stomach was tight. I've never left Earth before, he said quietly. I know, Mila replied. Most Earthlings haven't. Space can feel cold at first, but it becomes less scary once you find something to care about. Tom looked at her. And what about you? Why are you here? She smiled gently. I wanted to help. Many in the Union follow orders. I wanted to understand. He liked that answer. It was honest. Later that day, Tom was taken to the departure sector, where new Earth arrivals would be sent to Zera Prime. It's the main planet where all matches were made final. The station was busy. Strange machines moved along rails in the ceiling. Voices in hundreds of languages filled the air. Alien women passed by in colorful clothes. Some looked curious. Some looked shy. Tom sat in the waiting area, his name glowing on a floating screen. Above him, next to him, sat Ravi, who looked more nervous than before. I still don't understand how this will bring peace, Ravi said. Can peace be forced? Tom didn't answer at first. He kept thinking about his farm, the trees, his little house, his brother Joe. I think peace should be chosen, Tom finally said. But now, we can only choose how to move through this. A loud chime rang. Transport vessel 77 to Zera Prime is now boarding. Tom stood up, heart heavy. He was going further from Earth than anyone in his family ever had. Inside the ship, the lights were dim, and the air smelled fresh, like mint and clean water. The walls glowed gently. Seats were made to fit all shapes and sizes, human or alien. Tom sat near a window. Stars passed like falling snow. As the ship flew, an alien screen in front of them showed messages about Union traditions, marriage customs, and planet safety. It all felt too fast, too much. A few rows ahead, Tom saw Mila again. She wasn't in her blue robe this time. She wore simple clothes, the kind Earth people wore. She looked almost human if not for her silver skin. She came and sat beside him. You'll be arriving at the matching hall in a few hours, she said. Are you ready? No, Tom said. I don't even know what ready means anymore. Mila gave him a soft look. You're not the only one who feels that way. Many alien women also feel afraid. They were told this is how their worlds can survive, but they don't know if it's right either. Tom turned toward her. Then why do they come? Some come for duty. Some come to protect their people. Some hope to find something real, even in a place like this. As the ship neared Zera Prime, the view changed. The planet below was large and green. 3 suns glowed in the sky, casting soft gold light across wide blue oceans and tall purple forests. This is Zera Prime? Tom asked. Yes, Mila replied. It is the heart of the Union. Many alien races live here. The matchmaking palace is near the southern crystals. Palace, Tom said, raising an eyebrow. She smiled. It's just a name, but the place is beautiful, and large enough for thousands of guests. Tom sighed. I don't know how to feel about meeting 3 women I'm supposed to marry. You are not forced to love them, Mila said gently. Only to meet them, live with them for some time, and try. The rest is your choice. Tom stared out the window again. Deep down, he didn't like the idea of being told who to marry. But Mila's words gave him a small sense of control. The ship landed softly. Tom walked out into the warm air of Zara Prime. The sky was golden. Strange birds flew high. Tall trees with glowing leaves lined the path. Buildings floated above the ground, shaped like crystals and towers. The matchmaking palace was massive. It had silver gates, blue flowers hanging from vines, and fountains that played music when water moved. Inside, the main hall had one rule. Every Earthling must meet at least 10 alien women. From those, you must choose 3. Tom stood near a table where a Union officer handed him a small screen. Your selection process begins tomorrow, the officer said. Tonight rest and eat. You'll be assigned a room and a guide. Tom looked. At the screen, it had names, species, and short notes beside them. He felt overwhelmed. Is this how peace is built? Later that evening, in his room, Tom sat by the window. He had been given clean clothes, food that tasted like sweet bread, and a small bed. The sky above showed stars in patterns he didn't recognize. There was a soft knock on the door. He opened it, saw Mila again. I was assigned as your guide, she said with a gentle nod. Tom couldn't help but smile. Good year. The only one here who feels ... normal. She walked in and handed him a small fruit. It helps with sleep, she said, and dreams. Tom took it and sat. Do you think this will work, Mila? Any of it? She paused, then sat near him. I don't know, Tom, but sometimes when everything changes, something good can still grow from it, even when it starts with fear. He looked at her closely. Her eyes held something real, something kind. Maybe not everything in the galaxy was cold or forced. Maybe some of it was still human. The morning air on Zara Prime was soft and warm. Sunlight from the 3 golden suns poured through the crystal windows of Tom's room. The music of fountains echoed gently across the palace. Today was the day he had to begin his selection. Tom stood in front of the mirror, adjusting the clean clothes the palace had given him. He felt strange. He had never dressed like this before. Smooth fabric, fine design, and colors that shifted in the light. On Earth, he wore old shirts and dusty boots. Here, he looked like someone else. A soft knock came at the door. It was Mila. Your first meeting begins in 20 minutes, she said. Are you ready? Tom nodded, though he didn't feel ready at all. The selection hall was large and bright. Silver walls shined with patterns that moved like slow water. Dozens of chairs circled the room. Alien women sat in small groups, each looking around, waiting for introductions to begin. Union guides walked among them, helping with language or customs. Mila led Tom to a quiet corner. You'll meet 10 women. Speak with each of them. Learn who they are. Okay. You'll need to choose 3 to continue the bonding process with. Tom's heart beat fast. This wasn't just a meeting knit. It was a decision that would change his life. The first woman he met was named Neri. She sat in a floating chair and had soft pink skin and long white hair. Her eyes were pale blue, and her voice was calm like the sound of wind in trees. I'm from the moon, Velen, she said gently. My people are healers. We live in quiet places, and we listen more than we speak. Tom noticed that Neri couldn't walk. She moved with the help of the floating chair. Do you mind that? Tom asked carefully. Neri smiled. No, my body may be weak, but my heart is strong. What about you? What do you seek? Tom paused. I don't know yet. I came because I had no choice. But now, I want to find truth, not just follow rules. Neri nodded. Then maybe we both walk the same path in different ways. The second woman was Arla, a tall warrior from the Red Planet door. She wore armor, even in the peaceful hall, and her golden eyes showed strength. I don't like this law, she said openly, but my people need help. If I marry, my family receives food and medicine. Tom admired her honesty. I was a fighter in the border wars, Arla added, but now they ask me to be soft. I don't know how. Tom smiled slightly. Strength is not just for battle. She looked at him with curiosity. You are calm. That is rare in men from Earth. Tom chuckled. Maybe farming teaches patience. Arla didn't smile, but she nodded with respect. The third woman was Mira. From a floating city above the clouds of Vasha, she was full of laughter and spoke quickly. Her hair floated like feathers, and her skin shimmered like a rainbow and soft. Light. I signed up because I love adventure, she said brightly. Earthmen are new and exciting. Tom found her funny, but also hard to keep up with. She talked about flying, singing, and her 100 pet birds. After 10 minutes, Tom thanked her and moved on. She's very cheerful, he said quietly to Milla, who stood nearby. Yes, Milla said, but sometimes cheer can be a mask. Tom met more women, each different, each with her own story. A quiet artist who painted with sound, a plant-based woman who spoke through smells and light, a scientist who only spoke through a small machine, a pair of twins who shared one mind but two bodies. Each meeting made Tom feel more amazed and more lost. How could anyone choose 3 people from such a strange, wide galaxy? After hours of conversations, Tom sat alone in the garden outside the palace. Small lights floated through the air like fireflies. Trees whispered in a language he didn't understand. Milla walked over and sat beside him. You look tired, she said. I am, Tom replied. They're all so different. Some are kind, some are strong, some are clever. I don't know how to choose. Milla looked at the stars above. You're not just choosing partners, you're choosing who you'll share your life with. It's not about picking the best, it's about finding who fits your heart. Tom was quiet for a while. Then he said, I keep thinking about 3 of them. Milla smiled. Tell me. Tom thought carefully, speaking one name at a time, Neri. Because her words feel calm, and she listens like no one else. Arla. Because she's strong, but honest about her fears. Milla. Tom paused. He realized what he was about to say. Milla looked surprised. You're not part of the selection, Tom said softly. But you've been here since the beginning. You understand me better than anyone? Milla looked down. I was not supposed to be a match. My job was to guide. But I hoped maybe I could be something more. Tom smiled. You already are. Tom stood in front of the mirror again, but this time he looked different, not just in clothes, but in eyes. The man who had arrived at the matchmaking hub felt lost, but the man standing now was no longer confused. He had made his choice. He was going to begin the bonding process with Neri, Arla, and Milla. The door opened gently. Milla entered, wearing a long white robe that shimmered in the sunlight. Her silver skin glowed softly. It's time, she said with a smile. Tom nodded. He followed her through a long hallway filled with music, light, and flowers from 100 worlds. The bonding ceremony was not a wedding, it was a beginning. In union culture, bonding meant learning, living, and building trust over time. Each pair would spend 7 moons together learning to understand one another, facing small trials, sharing thoughts and memories. After that, they could choose to stay, separate, or renew the bond. Tom stood with the 3 women in a circle of light. Around them stood union leaders, other couples, and curious guests. A tall figure stepped forward, an elder from the Union Council. She spoke in a clear voice. Tom of Earth, Neri of Velen, Arla of Dor, Milla of Zell. Do you all agree to begin the bonding circle? I do, Tom said calmly. I do, Neri said, her voice soft but steady. I do, Arla said firmly. I do, Milla said, her eyes on Tom. A soft wind moved through the hall, and the lights above spun slowly. A warm feeling passed through their hands as they all touched the glowing circle on the floor. The bonding had begun. That evening, taken to a quiet house in the mountains of Zera Prime, the air there was clean, the sky full of stars. It was far from the palace, far from rules and pressure. The house was large and round, with 4 bedrooms, 1 shared hall, and a garden in the back with floating lights. Everything was peaceful, but inside the house, things were not easy. Neri was kind and gentle, but she often stayed in her room, reading or meditating. She spoke when needed, but sometimes she seemed far away. Arla was serious and strong. She often trained with weights in the backyard and didn't like being told what to do. She didn't trust Tom fully, not yet. Mila tried to keep everyone calm. She cooked, cleaned, and talked to each of them. But even she seemed tired sometimes. Her feelings for Tom were real. But now she had to share space with 2 others. Tom felt like he was standing between 3 worlds. One day, Tom walked into the garden and found Arla practicing with a long metal staff. She moved fast, with sharp turns and quick steps. Her golden eyes focused on every motion. "You're really good," Tom said. Arla stopped. "Fighting is what I was trained to do. Not this." She turned away. "Is this hard for you?" Tom asked. Arla didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Ondor love is earned through battle, not sitting in kitchens or smiling all day. This bonding feels like weakness." Tom thought for a moment. Maybe love is a different kind of strength. Arla looked at him for a long second. Then she nodded once. Maybe. That night, a storm rolled across the mountains. It came fast. The sky turned dark purple, and the wind howled through the trees. Lightning cracked in the sky, and the house shook slightly. Suddenly, the lights went out. Tom ran to the control panel, but it was dead. Mila was already checking the backup power now. I floated into the room in her chair, calm as always. "It's a natural storm," she said. "Zera Prime has strong energy winds in this season. The house is safe." But then a loud crack hit the side of the building. A tree had fallen, crushing part of the roof and breaking the water pipes. "We have to fix it," Tom said. Arla grabbed a toolkit. "Come with me," she told Tom. Outside, the rain poured. The tree was huge, but Arla and Tom worked together to cut it apart and clear the roof. Tom's arms burned from the weight, but Arla moved like a machine. "You're strong," Tom said between breaths. "So are you," Arla said, tossing a heavy branch to the side. By the time they finished, they were both soaked. But when they returned inside, the others smiled. They had worked like a real team. The next day, something changed. Nura asked Tom to help her in the garden. She showed him small healing plants that only grew under moonlight. "These flowers listen," she said. "They open only when the heart is calm." Tom watched her hands move slowly over the soil. "You don't speak much," he said. "When you do, your words matter." Neri smiled gently. "Silence has its own voice. You just have to listen." Tom helped her plant a new row. For the first time, Neri's hands touched his. Her touch was cool, but full of warmth. One evening, Tom found Mila sitting by the window, looking at the stars. "Do you miss your old job?" Tom asked. "Sometimes," she said, "but I don't miss being alone." Tom sat beside her. "I never thought I'd come to space," he said. "And now I'm here, living with 3 women from across the stars. It still feels unreal." Mila looked at him gently. "Do you regret your choice?" He shook his head. "No, I didn't come here to fall in love, but I think something real is growing here." Mila leaned her head on his shoulder. "Me too." The days passed. They cooked together, worked together, even had small arguments about food, room space, and culture. But slowly, something changed. The walls between them began to fall. One night, all 4 of them sat around the fire. Tom looked. Around the room, Matt Neri's quiet smile, Arla's proud gaze, Mila's soft eyes. "I don't know what the Union expected from this," Tom said, "but I know what I found. Peace." Neri asked. "No," Tom replied. "Family." Tom had grown used to life on Zera Prime. Days were no longer filled with fear or confusion. He worked in the garden with Neri, helped Mila with small machines, and sometimes trained with Arla in the field behind their mountain house. But peace is often the quiet before the storm. One evening, while Tom was walking near the outer forest to gather fruit, a voice called out from behind a tree. "Are you from Earth?" Tom turned quickly. A tall man stepped into view wearing a brown cloak. His face was sharp, and his eyes looked tired but determined. "My name is Rick," the man said. "I've been looking for you." Tom blinked. "Why, you're one of the bonded Earthmen, right?" Rick asked. "Living with 3 alien women under the Union's law?" Tom nodded slowly. Rick stepped closer. "Then you need to hear the truth. The Union didn't tell Earth everything. The law isn't just about peace. It's control. And many of us, we're fighting back." Later that night, when the stars had filled the sky, Tom sat on a bench outside, his mind full of Rick's words. The Union forced Earth's leaders to sign. Your leaders weren't told the full cost. Our planet is now under soft occupation. Its marriage law is just the start. Tom wasn't sure what to believe. Something inside him said Rick wasn't lying. He told Mila the next morning. She listened quietly, then said, "It's possible. I always felt the law was rushed. Many planets didn't agree, but they stayed silent." Tom looked at her. "Do you think Earth is in danger?" Mila looked away. "I think it already is, just not with weapons, but with silence and control." A few days later, Rick returned. This time he wasn't alone. 3 more Earthmen were with him: Ben, Hanif, and Kiro. All had the same look in their eyes, anger mixed with hope. They sat around the garden fire with Tom, Mila, Arla, and Neri. Ben spoke first. "We've built a secret network of Earthlings, and aliens who believe the law must end. We're not against aliens. We're against forced bonding." Hanif nodded. "We want peace too, but real peace needs choice, not commands." Kiro leaned forward. "We're planning to hack the Union's central system. If we can show the truth to every planet, the law could be removed." Tom asked, "Why me?" Rick answered, "Because you bonded with 3 women and didn't fall apart. You built trust across cultures. People listen to stories like yours." Tom looked at Neri, Arla, and Mila. Their eyes said more than words. He stood up. "I'll help." From that day, things changed. At night, Tom met with the rebellion group in caves deep inside the forest. They passed messages, mapped secret paths, and collected data from the Union's satellite towers. During the day, he acted normal, watering plants, sharing meals, practicing calmness. But inside, he was burning. One night, while copying a signal, code from a Union relay tower, Tom and Ben were spotted by a Union patrol drone. The drone flashed red lights and gave a warning. "This area is restricted. Return immediately or face Union punishment." Ben grabbed Tom's arm. "Run." They raced through the forest, their feet crashing through leaves and branches. The drone followed, its searchlight cutting through the trees. Suddenly a flash came from behind. The drone fired a stun beam. Ben fell. Tom stopped. He couldn't leave him. He picked Ben up, struggled through the darkness, and finally reached a hidden tunnel entrance. Inside, Mila was waiting. She helped pull Ben in and closed the door behind them. Ben recovered the next day, but now the Union was watching. Patrols increased. Checkpoints were set up near the bonding houses. Tom's every move was tracked. Rick gave a warning. "You'll need to leave soon. They know something's wrong." Tom felt torn. Leaving now meant running forever. But staying meant danger for everyone he cared about. He sat with Neri. That evening under the glowing moonflowers. "I didn't come here to start a war," he said. Neri gently touched his hand. "You didn't. You're trying to protect truth." He nodded. "I just hope we're not too late." 2 nights later, Arla came rushing into the house. Her face was serious. "They're coming," she said. "Union guards. They've locked down to nearby houses. We're next." Tom grabbed his bag. Mila activated a small transport disk hidden In the wall, we have a plan, she said. Away off this planet, they ran to Neri, Arla, and Mila through the back trails, past old trees, into the hills. In a hidden cave, Rick was waiting with a small ship. It looked old, but it worked. You sure you want to do this? He asked Tom. Tom looked at his wives. Yes. As the ship lifted off, Union drones chased them. Blaster beams flew past, but Arla jumped to the defense turret and returned fire. Mila handled the controls, guiding the ship through narrow canyons. Neri activated a shield using a strange flower she had hidden in her robes. Tom just held tight and prayed. After a long chase, the ship broke through the clouds and into space. Zara. Prime shrank behind them. Ahead was Earth, and the fight was not over. The stars outside the ship moved like silver dust. Mila held the steering handles tightly, her face calm but focused. Arla stayed at the turret, watching for more Union drones. Neri sat near the back, eyes closed, using her mental connection. To feel the path ahead, Tom stood in the center of the small ship. His heart was heavy. They had escaped the planet, but the Union wouldn't give up easily. How far to Earth? He asked. 3 solar jumps, Mila replied. The Union will chase us. They may block the jump paths. We need a safe route, Arla said. One they don't expect. Tom looked at Neri. Her eyes opened slowly. There's a path, she said, not through light, but through shadow. Neri had learned many things on the moon of Velen. She knew of old star paths that Union ships didn't use. They were harder, slower, and filled with strange space currents, but they were. Hidden Malah set the course. The ship turned sharply, entering a dark part of the galaxy where most traffic never went. Stars became fewer. The space around them turned a deep blue, like the ocean at night. The engines hummed low. Everything was quiet, too quiet. Keep your eyes open, Mila said. This part of space is not empty. Creatures live in these currents. Tom moved through the ship, checking on everyone. Arla sat in the back room, cleaning a small metal tool. She looked up when Tom entered. Do you trust this plan? She asked. I trust all of you, Tom said. Arla gave a small smile. Even me, I haven't exactly been gentle. Tom chuckled. Gentle isn't always the right answer. Sometimes we need strength. She nodded. You're not like most Earthmen, Tom sat beside her, and you're not like anyone I've ever met. In the front cabin, Neri was resting, her hand gently glowing. Tom sat across from her. You feel calm, he said. I try to be, she replied. Fear does not help anyone. Do you see Earth? He asked. Neri closed her eyes. Yes, but it's not safe yet. The truth is not known. When we land, people must hear what really happened. Tom nodded. That's why we're going back. Hours passed. The ship moved slowly through the dark space stream. But suddenly, a warning light flashed. Mila shouted, We've been spotted. A Union ship had found them. It was large, faster, stronger, and fully armed. It's one of their Hunter-class ships, Mila said. We can't fight it head-on. Tom turned to Arla. Can we outrun it? Only if you give me control of the engine boosters, she said. Mila quickly unlocked the controls. Arla ran to the power system and began adjusting the energy levels. The ship shook. Alarms buzzed. They're locking weapons, Mila cried out. Then we go now, Arla yelled. The ship sped forward. The stars around them blurred. Behind the Union hunter fired red beams that missed by inches. Tom held tightly to the wall. Neri sat calmly in the middle of the floor, her glowing hands forming a protective shield around the ship. Arla pushed the engine to full power. Just a few more seconds, she shouted. Suddenly a blast hit the side. The ship rocked hard. Small fire started near the wall. But Tom quickly grabbed an extinguisher and put it out. We can't take another hit, Mila said. Then Neri whispered, Turn left, into the fog. Mila obeyed. The ship entered a strange space fog, thick and glowing softly. The Union hunter stopped chasing. They lost us, Mila whispered. Inside the fog, time felt strange. Minutes felt like hours. But the ship stayed safe. They floated. Slowly, hiding from sensors, cooling the engines, letting the systems recover. Tom stood at the window. Earth was still far, but hope was growing. "Why do you care so much about Earth?" Arla asked. Tom replied, "Because it's home.
Ow.
And because Earth deserves to choose its own path." Arla nodded. "That's a good reason." After a long rest, Milla restarted the main drive. "The fog ends here," she said. "Once we leave, we're open again." "Let's do it," Tom said. "No more hiding." They left the fog and Earth appeared on the screen. Blue, bright, and beautiful. Everyone stood still. It felt like seeing a dream. "We made it," Neri said softly. But then, another alarm. A Union fleet had placed a block near Earth's orbit. 10 ships, all armed. "They were waiting for us," Mila said. "Then we show them the truth," Tom said. Mila opened the communication line. Tom stepped forward, facing the screen. "This is Tom of Earth," he said. "I escaped the Union's forced bonding program. Did not run because of hate. I ran because I want freedom for myself and for my planet." He looked back at Milla, Arla, and Neri. "These three women are my bonded partners. I didn't choose them because of law. I chose them because of who they are. They are kind, strong, wise. We built trust. That is real unity, not forced marriage." He turned back to the screen. "Earth deserves to hear the truth. The galaxy deserves choice. End the law. End the silence." The signal was sent across the galaxy, to Earth, to the Union, to every planet that had followed the rule. The Union ships didn't fire. Instead, one by one, they moved aside. A voice from the command ship replied, "Your message has been received. The Council will meet. Until then, Earth is free to land." Tom closed his eyes. They had made it. As the ship entered Earth's atmosphere, clouds rolled gently past. Cities came into view. Oceans, forests, rivers, all still there, waiting. Tom smiled. He looked at Milla, Arla, and Neri. "Home," he said. And, for the first time in a long time, it truly felt like it. End of part 6. Tom stood at the edge of the landing bay, feeling the warm air of Earth again. It had been many months since he left, but now it felt like years. The sky was blue, birds flew across the clouds, and people watched from behind secure fences. There, eyes full of questions, the Union ships hovered in the far sky but made no move. For now, peace was holding Mila, Arla, and Neri walked beside Tom. Their ship had landed on the Earth Assembly platform in New Geneva, the capital of the New World. Order after first contact. Government officials, Earth scientists, news reporters, and even children were gathered around. All of them had one question. Why did this man return with 3 alien women? Tom stepped forward to the podium. He looked calm but strong. He held Milla's hand, and she gave him a small nod. Arla stood behind him like a guardian, and Neri quietly touched his shoulder, giving him peace. A reporter called out, "Tom, why did you return?" He answered, "Because the law was wrong. Earth was forced to follow a rule we didn't choose. That law said every Earthling must marry 3 alien women. But that's not love, that's control," the crowd murmured. "I'm not against the people of other planets," Tom said. "In fact, these 3 women are now my family. But we came together by trust and understanding, not because of a rule." He looked around. "You deserve that same choice, all of you," the crowd began. Too quiet, his words touched many hearts. Some Earthlings had already been forced into the law. Some had left Earth. Some were still unsure. A woman stepped forward from the crowd. She wore a simple white coat and had a child beside her. She asked, "But can we say no? Won't the Union punish us?" Tom replied, "They tried to stop me. They chased us across galaxies. But in the end, they listened. Because we spoke the truth." Mila stepped forward and said clearly, "Not all aliens agree with the law. Many of us believe in freedom too." Uri added softly, "What is real cannot be forced. Real connection comes from choice." Then Arla surprised everyone by stepping forward. "I was a Union guard," she said. "I followed orders. But I changed when I met Tom. Not because he told me to, but because I saw how humans think, how they feel. She pointed to the crowd. You are stronger than you know. Your voice matters. That's why we're here. The Earth Assembly agreed to meet that very evening. Leaders from all nations joined. Tom, Mila, Arla, and Neri sat with them as guests. At the round table, the president of Earth asked, "What should we do? The Union may not like it if we cancel." "The law," Tom answered firmly. "We do not need to fight. We need to speak clearly as one planet." Neri suggested send a message of peace but also truth. Let them know Earth wants freedom for all. The leaders agreed. The message was sent from Earth's main broadcast tower into deep space. Earth chooses freedom. Earth will no longer follow the bonding law. We welcome friendship, not force. The Union Council did not answer right away. Days passed. Tension grew. People across Earth waited. Would war come? And would more ships arrive? Then, on the 5th day, a reply came. It was a short message, but powerful. Earth has spoken. The Council hears. The law is under review. Till then, no more forced bonding. Peace remains. Across Earth, people celebrated. Bells rang. Lights lit up cities. The blue planet had taken its stand, and it was heard Tom and the 3 alien women became symbols of unity and courage. Schools taught children their story. People wrote songs and books. Even planets outside the Union started asking questions about the law. Some said Earth had lit a new fire of hope. One evening, Tom sat on a quiet hill near his old home. Mila lay beside him, watching the stars. Arla practiced with her staff nearby, and Neri meditated under a tree. "I didn't expect this," Tom said. "What did you expect?" Mila asked. "To live a quiet life? Maybe fix old robots, not change the galaxy." Mila smiled. "Sometimes life chooses us." Looked at all 3 of them. "I didn't know I would find family like this," Arla said from a distance. "And we didn't know a human would change us." Neri opened her eyes. "But here we are." As night fell, the stars above shined brighter. They weren't just lights anymore. They were paths each, one leading to new futures, new friendships, and new stories. Tom stood up and whispered, "Maybe now we write our own law." And the wind carried his words through the trees.